Hey, it's Nile Livesey here, and we're at the 2023 North American International Auto Show, better known as the Detroit Auto Show. For the next couple minutes, you're going to be seeing the B-roll that I captured while I was there without any commentary, and then stay tuned to the end of the video where I'll be talking a little bit about the auto show, especially as a first-time attendee. Well, folks, I'm on the way back from the Detroit Auto Show, and just for proof, there's my media badge right there. Actually, it took me longer to get the media badge at the auto show than it was to get through the border. Both times, actually, it was quicker for me to go into the U.S. and get out of the U.S. at customs both times than it was to get that. But I just want to briefly talk about my experience, because I don't think it'll do it justice doing it in voiceover, and I think by the time you're watching this, you'll see I basically just let you watch what was there and didn't really talk too much about it. So I'm going to tell you what's going on here just so that you know, and then we'll wrap things up. So this was the first time I had ever been to the Detroit Auto Show for, like, I don't know, the last 6-7 years, ever since we started Test Drive. I mean, Test Drive will be celebrating 8 years in November this year, 2023. But, you know, since I really started doing the press car stuff in 2017, I always wanted to go to the Detroit Auto Show, because that was like the thing, right? If you were an auto journalist or a car enthusiast in general, Detroit was it. That was like the big show every single year that everybody went to. It was like, you know, the holy pilgrimage of car stuff. And yeah, obviously there was a pandemic over the last couple of years, and even I think it was before that they had announced they were changing the format to be in the summer or spring now, fall, and then really, you know, all the other manufacturers pulled out. Right? You take a look at what we were talking about, the last auto show that I covered, which was the 2020 Toronto Auto Show just before the pandemic. They were already talking about how a lot of brands were going to be pulling out because it's just not cost effective. And I get it. It is expensive to put this on. So as you will have seen in the B-roll, really the only 4 manufacturers that had an actual presence there was Stellantis, Ford, General Motors, and it seems like Toyota, because Toyota had a big booth, a big setup with some of the newer products there. Everything else was dealer supported. Kia, Volkswagen, Honda, they were all dealer supported. You could actually see that the Honda booth had the Detroit area Honda dealer, you know, graphics and stuff around it. And then way in the back of the area, that's where all sort of the extra stuff was. I don't even know if it was dealer supported. I don't know who brought those vehicles, but it was, you know, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, things like that. I didn't even really go back there because it's all vehicles that we've seen, you know, not necessarily that we featured here on Test Drive, but it's all things that you could walk into the dealership and take for a test drive yourself. You don't really need to go to the auto show for. So the only major announcements, the 2025 Cadillac CT5, which is essentially just a facelift, and I was trying to get some B-roll of the interior. It's just like the new XT4, just like the Cadillac Lyriq, similar to the Escalade. One enormous curved LED screen for your infotainment and drive screen. That's the interior change that I could see. The exterior is pretty subtle. Front end is where you'd see the most differences there. So I had arrived when GM was doing their announcement, so I wasn't able to see the car at the time of the unveiling, but got a chance to get some B-roll after the fact. And then when I left, GMC was doing an announcement, and as far as I could tell, there wasn't anything actually being announced, because everything else from GM we'd already seen. In fact, if you saw the clip that I put in of the Corvette E-Ray, you'll know a few weeks ago I actually saw the real sort of pre-production version on the street and got it to do a startup and rev and stuff for me. So again, you know, a lot of people might not have seen one of those, but I've already had the pleasure, so it was kind of old news. And then my understanding is Stellantis, specifically Jeep, was going to be having an announcement at like 11 kind of thing, and it's actually probably happening right now as I'm driving home. And as far as I can tell, it was like a variant of the Wrangler. You know, by the time this video goes up, I'm sure it'll have already been announced. But it's interesting, we got an email yesterday from Ford that they were unveiling some new information about the 2024 F-150. They did have a 2024 F-150 there, but kind of looked the same to me. So I don't know why Ford didn't, you know, use the auto show as a good time to unveil something, but maybe they just, you know, you have to schedule those things probably in advance, so they didn't have a chance to actually do it. But that's fine. I mean, you know, trucks are trucks. We talk about them quite a bit on Test Drive, and I'm sure the 24 will be, you know, a well-received update. But Lincoln actually had something pretty interesting the updated Nautilus. I was able to see that in person. Again, you should have seen some B-roll of that as it spun around, and I got some interior stuff. It seems all the luxury brands, or at least the American luxury brands, are going for these extremely large screens wide across the dashboard area. I don't know. I mean, I like it more than the tablet style that, say, Mercedes-Benz is going with, but, you let me know what you think of it. So that was there, and that was essentially it. Everything else we had already seen. There wasn't anything else that stood out to me. Just kind of grabbed some B-roll of things that I thought were kind of cool. And I mean, overall, am I disappointed? I don't know. I was just calling my wife, telling her that I kind of felt that I was. I'm glad that I went because I'm so close. It's a 2-hour drive. Like, from my door to the convention center, it's 2 hours. And this morning, a little bit of traffic, so it wasn't too bad. It cost me like $45 Canadian, because you got to pay tolls going both directions no matter which way you go. So I took the tunnel, and it was like, $10 Canadian each direction. And then parking, I believe it was $19 or $20 US, so convert that, it's like $9,000 Canadian. So it worked out to be, a little bit more than it was worth. But anyway, I got to go. Yay! I got to go to the Detroit Auto Show. So at least I can say that I've done it. Would I go back? It's a good question. I don't know if I'd even go to the Toronto Auto Show at this point, because it's actually easier for me to come here to Detroit, despite it being geographically a little bit further, just because Toronto traffic sucks. So we'll see how things go in the winter, because the auto show in Toronto is in February, whereas this is actually really nice weather to be doing it. It was pretty good. So I don't know. Are you planning on going to the auto show? I hope you're not going to have been waiting for my video to come out and think, I'm not going to go anymore, because if you live in the area, you might as well. There's some pretty cool stuff there that, if you haven't seen it before, it's a good opportunity to do it. And really, those little courses that they have set up, that's pretty good stuff. I mean, I wasn't going to participate in it because I'm there to see what's kind of new, and obviously the people that had access to be able to get into it a little earlier are lined up to do it. I certainly could have, but if you're thinking about doing that, you might as well. I mean, good opportunities to take a rip in all the electrics all back to back, kind of see what the interiors feel like, see how they kind of ride. You're only in it for a couple minutes, but it's not bad. And then again, if you're doing some stuff on the off-road courses that they've got set up for the different vehicles, it's pretty fun too. So overall, I went. I can say I've been, I've conquered it, and that's about it. So, c'est la vie. But I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as you could. As you see, we're doing quite a bit of stuff here on Test Drive now. James is out in Montreal doing a lot of stuff with the new car stuff. I'm getting some new press cars here over in Ontario. So we've got some pretty good coverage going on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Check us out both on Instagram and Facebook, both myself and James. We've got some stuff going on there, so make sure you get all of that good content happening. And we're probably going to be on a pretty good schedule of pumping out twice a week now that James and I both have stuff going on. So make sure you are part of the channel, because you won't want to miss out. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.